I know you don't want to be singled out, but some class activities require us to work in a group or to do things that maybe are uncomfortable so we can learn something. And you need to trust me that I'm going to make sure that it's comfortable enough, and I'm not going to single you out, and participate so that the experience is better for everybody. You need to, follow deadlines. So if homework is due, it's got to be done. If a project is due, it's got to be done. If there's issues with me reaching a deadline, kind of like I do, like if I can't, like, say, get grades done, or if I can't, if I have, I don't know, some paperwork or something that I need to get in by a certain time, like I have to meet the deadline. If I don't meet the deadline, I can get fired or I could lose my job. If there's no way for me to do it, like, my house burned down and my car has a flat tire, and like, my kids all have broken legs or something, so I literally can't do it, I have to tell my boss, and I have to kind of make sure that we're on the same page and that I have a plan for getting it done near the deadline, and that they know why and how I'm going to meet that an alternative slightly later deadline, not like a lot later, but slightly later. And I expect you to do the same thing in my class. So if something comes up, it's okay, life happens, but you have to tell me ahead of time, and you can't just expect that it's like, oh, it's fine, it's just going to be late, it's no big deal. Like, it is a big deal. I get fired, you get fired. Fired meaning you would fail your class, so just don't. Treat my time in, oh yeah, whoops. Okay, everything you learn in high school is life-changing. I know it doesn't seem like it. Sometimes you're like, yeah, it's so boring. Well, guess what? If you let it, it will change how you see the world, like everything you learn, and it'll make you a better person. So you need to treat it like it's life-changing. And if you do, you'll see that it actually does change your life for the better. If you don't, if you say treat it like it's boring and it's mundane and not worth it, that's about what it'll amount to. It'll basically not mean anything for you. And this goes, I hope, kind of without saying, this is like something you've learned since grade school. Don't distract others or let yourself be distracted. It's not cool. You're in class to learn. Do that. Don't, be throwing stuff across the room or trying to get people's attention and, take them off course and talk about stuff that doesn't matter. When it's work time, you need to work. When it's lesson time, you need to learn. Like, that's what class time's about. Don't spend time on other things. I'm dedicated to excellence. So this is one of our like mottos, right, for the school. Ways that I feel like we can show we're dedicated to excellence are encouraging everyone in class to do their best and take positive risks, to like step out of their comfort zone and do something that is important for them to learn, but maybe is not comfortable. So it's risky, but like it's a good calculated risk. Like, we want to encourage people to always kind of strive and reach and like do good stuff. Another way we can show we're dedicated to excellence is making sure that everything we make, everything we do in class, we can be proud of. If you're not proud of it, if you spend time in my class and it's like, yeah, this is my throwaway class, like, you get out what you put in. And that's not dedicated to excellence. Like, if you're dedicated to excellence in every class, you will try as hard as you can to do work that you're proud of. You won't just kind of like, yeah, I don't care about that. If you're dedicated to excellence, you're going to apply creative effort to everything you do. Creative meaning you're not just going to be like, okay, what do I need to do to get an A? Like, that doesn't work. Like, that's not how the real world works. It's not how even like later on academia works. Like, you can do that in your undergrad and you get to your master's degree, or you get to a job situation. That never works. Like, you need to think creatively and you need to put in what you have to offer, like your special talents in, and make a difference that way. And that's how you're going to be successful. So you're going to apply creative effort. So effort that is specific to you, but is also kind of like along the lines of what I'm asking for. And if you do that, your projects, your assignments are going to turn out better. if you're dedicated to excellence, you're going to try and make other people's experience better in class. That means sometimes you do stuff for just because, not because of a grade, but because you know that if you do it, it's going to make things better. It's going to open up a new topic of discussion, or it's going to advance our, practices in the class or whatever. And I expect you to do that because I'm always trying to do that. So if you guys help me, we can make the class better. In some cases, we'll have kind of competitions. In all cases, we'll probably have like little tests and quizzes. I expect you to prepare well for those so that you can always get good marks, even if you don't win or even if you don't do as well as you wanted. Like, you need to prepare well so that you can do your best on them. Okay, we're almost done. This is our last topic, last expectation. Thanks for listening. I know it's a long, long piece. To make sure that this class is safe, you need to know all the emergency procedures for our classroom. That means you know what to do in a fire or a fire drill. You know what to do in an earthquake or an earthquake drill. You know what to do when there's an intruder or a lockdown. You know what to do when we need to shelter in place. And basically, if you know all those procedures and I say, this is what's happening, and you just do them, that's how we can ensure that it's safe, especially in those kind of, 1 in a million, hopefully, situations. But if you just kind of blow it off, it's, it could really kind of screw stuff up for everybody. So please make sure you know what's going on. You know how what the emergency procedures are. Especially because this classroom is touching a shop and we use a lot of expensive stuff, including computers and mobile devices and other things. You don't touch or use anything you haven't been trained to use. Like, that means tools, that means computers, that means, chemicals, anything, period. If you haven't been trained to use it, you don't use it. And if you are not sure, or if you kind of think you've been trained, you clarify with me. You come say, hey, Booth, I feel like we've been trained how to do this. I took the test, or I, did the worksheet. I saw you demonstrate it, but can you just check me on this? Because if you don't know how to use something, that's when people get hurt. Like, people who don't know how to do something and do it often have, accidents and mistakes happen. That's what we want to avoid. You need to have a safety mindset. So when you see a hazard, you need to tell me immediately, and anyone in danger or near the hazard immediately. Don't be like, that's not the way it should be. Oh, well, and just kind of sit on it. And if you do that, it's common sense, but if you do that, it'll keep everybody safe and life will be better for everybody, because nobody wants to get hurt. Once somebody gets hurt, it really kind of like, it completely destroys a lot of the like feeling of safety we have in the lab. I'm going to give you some safety information sheets. It'll include, like, say, chemical data, our material data sheets for different chemicals. It'll be around tools, processes, other things. You need to keep them, and you need to review them, and you're going to be tested on them. So just make sure that you do that record keeping as because it's necessary, one, legally. Like, I have to keep it for you, and you need to know that you have it. And it's also the way that you ensure that you know what's going on, kind of like our, recent point. Like, if you're trained on doing something, you could. If you're not trained, don't do it. And then, this is very specific to the shop, but you're going to always have to wear closed-toed shoes, a hair tie, like you need your hair back or tucked into your shirt or something like a way. Short or, like demi sleeves are the best. You don't want to have your sleeves getting caught up in machines. You need to wear long pants. They don't have to be jeans necessarily, but you want long pants. Like, shorts are not acceptable in a shop. Sometimes we need gloves. Like, if we're doing anything with chemicals, you'll have special rubber gloves that are rated correctly. If we're doing, if you're moving dirty stuff, or if you're working with metal or other things that could be rough or, could potentially hurt your hands, you're going to use gloves. And you always, 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 always have safety glasses on, because you can't replace your eyes. You got 10 fingers, you lose one. I'm obviously kidding, but you lose, your eyes are so critical to everything you do. Being able to see is such a huge blessing and such something we take for granted. You always got to wear your safety glasses because you don't want to do anything that could possibly damage your eyes. So anyway, that's those are my expectations. Please review this before you take the exam on this. There'll be a little test quiz on my expectations and also classroom policies. There'll be another video for, like, say, grading and, that kind of stuff. But if you try and follow these expectations and meet my expectations to the best of your ability, I will do my best to make this class good for you. And I am confident that as you meet my expectations, we follow the program, you'll learn something that'll be valuable to you in the future. And that'll, I think you'll have a good time, because really, this is a good class. It's a good place to be, and it's fun content. And these expectations kind of ensure that people are happy in it and it goes well. So thanks for listening. If you have any questions, ask me in class. I will talk to you later.